playing. We should have had music playing as we start this, right?
That's okay.
Okay. Well, next time. So we are live here on LinkedIn for our first LinkedIn Fireside Chat. I don't have the fire going, but next time I'll have my little fireplace in the background, and we can do that. So I figured let's while we're waiting for anybody to come in, let's maybe just do some introductions and quickly, and then we'll sort of talk about how this came to be, right? I mean, I'm really excited for our first fireside chat. So, Melissa, I'm going to pass it to you.
Sure. Thank you. So hi, I'm Melissa Cohen. I am a personal brand and LinkedIn strategist, and I work with people to find your voice, build your brand, and build your business. And I am super happy to be here with Wendy and Deb.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. Deborah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am a career goals advisor to executives at Fortune 500 companies. I'm a LinkedIn career management top voice. I'm a LinkedIn new job search strategist, and I help you tap into the power of LinkedIn to win new jobs and to find work that you're really excited about and secure bigger roles in your organization and get paid a delicious salary that you so deserve.
And my name is Wendy Shore, rhymes with entrepreneur, and I help business owners to grow their business and position themselves on LinkedIn as the go-to in their industry. And together we will start talking about how we can do that, how we can position LinkedIn, whether you are trying to grow a business or whether you're looking to get that job, why it's important to be on LinkedIn, and different strategies that you can use. And I think, Deborah, we said
Yes.
today we were going to start talking about profiles, because that's sort of the beginning, right? When you get on LinkedIn, you need to have a good profile. And why do you think that is?
Well, whether you care about what your profile looks like, other people care, right? And that people are searching for you. Recruiters are looking for you. Companies are looking for you. When companies do a search on your LinkedIn profile comes up high on the rankings. It's one of the first things that they see. I think you should treat your profile as important as you do your career. I think it's as important as getting dressed in the morning.
I would agree. And what about you, Melissa? So we have a different market. Deborah is really more towards the, people looking for a new career or a new job in their field. And you and I both kind of do more similar things, which is helping the entrepreneurs to grow and start their business. So when you think of LinkedIn profiles, what do you think of, and why do you think it's important?
I think it's important for everyone. I do tend to do more work with entrepreneurs or small business owners. I do some work with people who are in a job search, and I think it is really, really important to have an optimized LinkedIn profile, wherever you are in your career journey. Like Deb said, it is one of the first things that go up in a search, right? If you're looking for a job and your resume lands on the recruiter's desk or in their ATS, however it shows up, one of the first things they're going to do is look at your social media, and especially your LinkedIn. And if it's not sending the right message, it can really hurt you in the job search. It has to be up to date. It has to be optimized. It has to be professional. And as far as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, if someone's going to work with you, same thing. They're going to go check out your social media. They're going to go check out your LinkedIn. And they want to see, is the message that you're putting out there the same message that they're getting from you in any other stream of communication? If you're sending them emails, if you're sending them DMs, if you're on a call with them, if they go to your LinkedIn, are they getting the same message? Is the brand consistent? And those are, regardless of which side of that coin you're on, it's super important.
I agree. You want to make sure that everything's in alignment, right? That the things that you're saying are the things that people are seeing. Before we go on, I just want to take a moment to say hello to the people who have joined us so far. We have Sawaru. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but thank you so much for being here. Christy Williams, Victoria Walling, Meryl Cass. Meryl Cass is the most amazing individual, because you know how we can't find our LinkedIn audio rooms? He lets me know every time there's a LinkedIn audio room. And if you are on his radar, and you will get notifications, right? Merrill is LinkedIn's notifications for LinkedIn audio rooms. Love him. Majid is here with us. Ariana, hi, Ariana. Great to see you. Mimi is from my old Clubhouse days. Robert Deck, thank you for joining us. And right now, it's great to see all these people who are really joining us. And yes, it's right. Optimize profile. Yes. Optimize profile and increase what, Majid?
Well, Majid?
Yeah. So,
it is interesting that people, I don't want to say they don't care, but they don't care until they have to care. When they're looking for a job or they need something and they say, I need to take a look at my presence. And at that point, you're not always in the best space because you're feeling stressed or you have these outside demands. The best time to do it is when you don't need to do it, because you can have fun with it. You could be creative, and you can really, I think that you can do your best work when you're in a creative space versus a stress space.
I think that's a really great point. I kind of align that with networking, right? We always say, build your network when you don't need it, right? If you wait until you need something to start reaching out to people, it never goes as well. So I would totally agree with that. If you keep your LinkedIn profile updated, if you engage on LinkedIn regularly and look at it as fun, right? It really is a fun platform. I think that's the biggest thing I want people to understand. Like, I think a lot of people still have this sort of outdated view of LinkedIn, right? Like, it's 2015 and it's just boring and it's where your resume goes to die. And it is so not the case. It is a fun, positive, engaging platform. And so I agree with you, Deb, like, have fun with it.
And it's important to know that it's not one and done, right? Because as we evolve, as we have new skills, as we have new positions and looking for the next thing, it's okay to update it. And we should be updating it, right? We should be updating it as we're doing new things, as we have new offers, or as we're doing new searches for our job. We need to make sure that we are in alignment with what's up and current, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm always changing my profile. I'm always changing the headline. Wendy, I'll have a conversation with you and you'll go, I don't know, maybe it needs to change. What's your superpower? Wendy loves to brainstorm. Let's brainstorm, Deb. So I'm always changing it. And also, I never stayed the same. I feel like I'm a different person every day. I mean, the foundation is the same, but my ideas and what I'm thinking about and what I'm writing about and talking about changes. And my LinkedIn profile goes with me.
One of the things that I heard recently that I will share, we had an SEO presenter, Mrs. SEO, Stephanie Long, was doing a presentation for one of the audio rooms, and we were talking about LinkedIn profiles. And what she was saying is it's very important that you're using the right keywords in your LinkedIn profile, that you could literally, the same way you would do a keyword search for your website, you want to do those same keyword search for your LinkedIn profile. And so I changed one thing in my profile, and I am going to actually do a deep dive with her, but it did say LinkedIn strategist, and now it says LinkedIn strategist for business owners. And that was on her recommendation, that LinkedIn strategist is really hard to, rank for, right? And let's get a little bit more niche. What is it that you do? Who do you help? Because I don't help job seekers, right? Use LinkedIn. I help business owners who are looking to grow their business. So that one change definitely changed things a little bit.
Yes, I mean, the two of you are both top voices. You have the blue. I don't have the blue. I have the brown, right? And it took me a long time to get the brown, even though it's going away. But I chose an area that was less competitive. I chose career management, career development was taken, leadership was taken. So I chose an area where I felt that I could get in and make an impact. And I think that's what LinkedIn is. It's about finding your place and finding your niche and finding where you can stand out, because there's so many profiles. And it's a competitive job market right now. It's competitive when it comes to social media. These little things in these little areas just kick it up a notch, and it truly, that's how you get past the noise.
So Cindy has an interesting question, and I would love to know maybe if you want to take this, Melissa, and then I'll go after you. Consider the fact that social media presence leaves a footprint that may never be erased, even when you make changes. So how do you handle regrets or mistakes when I hit miss on what you're trying to achieve?
So I think that's a super, super important question. And I think it's really important for everyone to know that, yes, social media leaves a footprint. And, this is something that I try to make sure young people know, right? People think Snapchat is temporary. It's not. All it takes is someone to screenshot whatever you put in Snapchat and it's permanent, right? Just because it disappears on your phone doesn't mean it disappears on everyone's phone. And so I think that this just makes me want to say, be thoughtful when you're posting on social media. LinkedIn is social media. It is the most professional of all the social medias. And so because you're posting under your real name, hopefully, and because, your boss or your colleagues or your friends see what you post under your real name, there is a little bit of a self-policing mechanism, right? That's why LinkedIn is a little bit more positive and polite than, let's say, some other platforms. So the first thing I would say is just really think before you post, right? And I think that really, the most dangerous place that you could say something that you wish you could take back is in like a comment, right? So if you have something to say and you want to disagree with someone, I am all for polite discourse and conversation, but emphasis on the polite, right? If you make a mistake, like we all make mistakes, right? And I think the biggest thing for me is there's a phenomenon called the spotlight phenomenon, right? And we think that everybody is watching what we do 24/7 and that they're waiting for us to make a mistake or that they're noticing these horrible things about us, right? It's like back in the days when we all worked in an office and you would like spill something on your shirt and you felt really self-conscious about it all day, right? Like everyone was staring at that stain on your shirt. No one was staring at the stain on your shirt. Nobody noticed. They were all too busy worrying about themselves. And it's the same thing with social media, right? If you made an error in something, it's okay. Mistakes happen. And we all change, right? Like Deb was just saying, she updates her LinkedIn all the time. I don't update mine all the time, but I do update it pretty regularly. And so that's okay. You're going to change. Things are going to change. And if you made an inadvertent mistake, just update it. It's completely fine.
I would agree. And I think sometimes, it without having the actual details, if the error is you started going down one path and then you want to turn around and go down the other path, there's nothing wrong with that. People pivot all the time. And so, you can sort of start moving into the direction that you want to go. And if it's something completely different, right? Like if you did, I don't know, personal training, right? And now you're doing corporate training on LinkedIn because you have a LinkedIn, presence and you've really mastered the art of it and you want them to be completely separated. I think it's okay to go back and, sort of hide, or I don't know if you can archive on LinkedIn. I know that on Instagram you can, to change, right? And start over. There's nothing wrong with starting over, right? I spent 25 years in the restaurant business. Now I'm a consultant, right? A business consultant, but it's all the experience and everything that I've gone through, my background as a CPA. So it's okay to pivot and it's okay to make changes. So if it's the course of your career or business, there's no issue. Just put it all together. If you said something that you put out there that you kind of wish you hadn't, yeah, you know what? We do make mistakes. And I agree. It's people may not be spotlighting it as much as you think they are. I have no problem with going back and just like deleting it and hope it goes away and just be more cognizant of what you're putting out there into the future. I definitely think that I'm just really glad that social media wasn't around when I was in my teen years.
Oh no. And you learn, like you learn what works and what doesn't work. Melissa, you and I were having this conversation, and I said, when you first start posting, nobody even knows. Nobody's even watching you. Like you really have to have a lot of energy and effort to get people to see what you're doing. but nobody knows. So that's the time, like you said, have fun. That's the time to have fun. Have fun in the beginning and test things and try things out. And some things will work and some things won't. There's no failing. There's no failing. It's all testing. And if you continue to go and you are consistent in your efforts, you're going to find your place. You're going to find your voice, and you are really going to enjoy it here.
I agree. So Mimi wants to know, Mimi, this is a great question. A LinkedIn strategy she heard is, and she's still on the fence about, is starting a LinkedIn newsletter. Do y'all suggest this? I would love to take this one,
Go ahead.
if I may, because the answer is going to be a resounding yes. Absolutely. Start a newsletter. Now, there is definitely strategy behind starting a newsletter. And, we can get into that maybe on another LinkedIn Fireside Chat. But here's the reason why. The newsletter gets delivered to everybody who signs up for your newsletter. It goes right into their inbox, right? So once they sign up, they actually will get the newsletter in their email from LinkedIn from you, right? And the first time that you start a newsletter, every single one of the people who follow you will get an alert that you're starting a newsletter, and then they can sign up for it. So you want to be strategic about the name. You want to be strategic about starting it. And you want to be strategic. You want to make sure that what you promise you're going to put out there, you will. So if you commit to once a week, do it once a week. If you commit to once a month, you can still put out an extra one and do it more than once a month. But whatever you tell people it's going to be, just make sure that you have the bandwidth to commit to it.
Yep. I would agree with that. The other thing is then whenever you get a new follower, that new follower is also offered the option to subscribe to your newsletter. So as your following grows, your newsletter subscription grows. The only caveat I'll say, because a lot of times people will ask me, should I start a newsletter on LinkedIn or off? And the only big advantage to starting a newsletter off is that then you own that subscriber data, right? If you start your newsletter on LinkedIn, which I did, you don't own that information. You don't own their email addresses. And depending on what you want that data for, that could be a deciding factor. But LinkedIn makes it super, super easy to start a newsletter. And I also, like you, Mimi, I was on the fence for a really long time, and I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I thought it was going to be so much work. And it's really not. It's as easy as writing a post. It really is. So I would also say, if you're on the fence, there's no reason not to go for it. I would absolutely recommend doing it.
And in your situation, Mimi, because I know that you speak a lot about LinkedIn audio rooms, you could give monthly or weekly tips on how to run an audio room and how to convert from an audio room. All the things that you talk about in your audio room, you can certainly put that into a post. And you can let people know about the next upcoming audio room in your newsletter. So yes, highly recommend that. Okay. Yes. Mahid said in our region, people call LinkedIn account really professional. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And it's definitely more for the professional than it is for, like, even though we have that new like TikTok video type thing going on, it's still more professional, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I like the TikTok video. I do a lot of video. So I love it. For a long time, LinkedIn was not a fan of videos, and the algorithm, I used to get like 20, 25 views. I mean, 25, 30 views if I was lucky. And there was a part of me that said, should I continue? But they are committed to LinkedIn. They're committed to video right now. So I do think we're going to see much more video.
I want to say hello to some new people who joined us. Hello, Philip from Jacksonville, Florida. And I saw Marjorie Mallard. I can get this right. Joined us as well. Great to see you. And Ariana has a question. Can you clarify the on-off newsletter point?
Yeah, sure. So if you do it on platform, you're just doing it on LinkedIn, right? And it's exactly the sort of process that Wendy described. Off platform means you're starting it on a platform like Beehive or ConvertKit, which I think now is just going to be called Kit, if I remember correctly. So it's basically starting an email-based newsletter subscription that does not live on LinkedIn. It lives on a different platform.
Yep. And the benefit of that is, like Melissa said, we just rent space here on LinkedIn. Any of the social media platforms, we are here as their guest. And at any point, they can kick you off the platform. They can shut down the platform. And I don't know if you all remember, but there was a time where Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were all offline, right? And the world was freaking out. Right. So how do you then get in touch with the people who are in your community? Maybe you had a webinar going on, or maybe you want to let people know you were doing this LinkedIn room. So having their email to be able to contact them and say, hey, by the way, I have this going on, is definitely much better than if you don't, right? So when LinkedIn sends in out the newsletter, you don't have the information of the people it's going to. LinkedIn keeps that. It's their information. Let me just say hello to Melissa Houston and Jonathan Woolley. Welcome. Welcome. Great to have you here with us. We have been talking about newsletters. We have been talking about profiles and using keywords. And I'm going to try and take this off. I'm not even sure how to do this. I'll just put hello from New Jersey right now. Hello.
Wendy, we didn't talk about how we met. We did promise that at the beginning.
We
talked
did.
about a little bit how we met. So Melissa and I met first. We met in 2020, and we just instantly became friends. I just liked you right away, and we instantly became friends. And I mean that's the power of this platform. Getting to meet. Then we met in the city, and then we just came back from a business summit in September. Wendy and I, we spent time getting to know one another, and then we got to spend time together. And what did I say to you at the summit? I said, Wendy, you're the friend they didn't see coming. So
yep.
and Melissa got to speak, and they streamed it, and it was an incredible event. I mean, I'm so grateful I met the two of you.
Wow.
How about you?
But I think that really speaks to the power of this platform, right? And if there's one thing that I want people to take away from spending this half hour with us, it's that this platform offers so much opportunity, right? I met both of you through this platform. I have basically pivoted and changed my entire career because of this platform. I have gotten speaking engagements. I have gotten podcast opportunities. I've spoken on panels. I've done all kinds of things and met all kinds of people through the connections that I've made here. And so LinkedIn is a really interesting dichotomy, right? Because it is professional. It is where people go for job search. It is where people go when they're looking to hire somebody. It's also where people go when they're looking for business people to hire, right? When they're looking for coaching or they're looking for service providers. And it is social media too. There is definitely a fun content creation piece around it. And so sometimes those three things don't all sit together. Sometimes they do. But regardless of which one fits for you, there's a lot of opportunity here. And that's always the message I want to leave people with when they come and listen to us speak.
I would say, and this is interesting because we did meet. Well, I first met you at an event at LinkedIn. Yeah. When I first got on the platform, I started right away with the collaborative articles because I wasn't really sure how to navigate LinkedIn. And, if you're newer to LinkedIn and you're not sure how to navigate it, it's okay. My suggestion would be, one, collaborative articles still, but also start engaging in comments, right? Start seeing what people are saying, great posts, and then engage in comments. But we did meet briefly in New York City at the event at LinkedIn headquarters. But I think that conversations that start happening, right? You start engaging in the comments, you start getting to know somebody, that becomes a virtual coffee, right? Or first the DMs, then a virtual coffee, and then you know them, right? You really, know them. And then when we have the opportunity to go to an event like we did in Dallas, it's just meeting and hugging. It's like hugging for the first time, right? But you've gotten to know them. And the reason I went to Dallas for this event was really because, Melissa, you were speaking at the event, and Deborah said she was going. And I said, wow, I'll get to see them both, right? And it turned out to be a fabulous event. It was Donnie Boyvin's Badass Business Summit event. It was a fabulous event, but the best part of it really was seeing you and our other LinkedIn people that we know, that we engage with, that we talk to, but now we know. I've been on Instagram, I've been on Facebook, you know, back in the day. Never have I seen where people get together and build real relationships like they do on LinkedIn.
Yes, we did. We hugged as soon as we saw each other, and I went because you were there, and then people went because we were there, and we had a force. There was a force of LinkedIn people, and we had such a great time. And going back to what I said in the beginning about getting your dream job and work that excites you, that's the possibility here. That's the possibility of networking. That's the possibility of commenting and building relationships. As a job seeker, this is one of the toughest, most competitive markets that there are, and you need to find a way in. And LinkedIn is your way in. It's definitely one of the top ways to get in.
I wanna say one thing quickly about that, because I know we're actually getting close to time, which is crazy. But I agree with you so much, Deb. And I also think, especially when you get to a more senior level, it is a huge opportunity to show your subject matter expertise here, right? It is such a tough job market. We keep hearing that, right? You know this better than anyone, Deb. There's so much competition for these roles. And so if you can position yourself as, thought leader, I know people like roll their eyes. So if you don't like the word thought leadership or thought leader, just it's your subject matter expertise, right? Are you showing that you know your stuff? You're plugged into your industry. You know what's happening in your sector. You're aware of the trends. That can be a differentiator, and that can set you apart from other candidates in a really crowded job market.
I want to say that Robert watched your video and loved it, Deborah. I don't know if you see that in the comments.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
And I met Robert at an event that was here. It was held in Tequesta, Jupiter, Florida, which is beautiful up there. And there was a lot of LinkedIn people there, right? We had the LinkedIn panel. I was on the LinkedIn panel at that event. And I just want to highlight what Meryl said. While we say hello to Michelle has joined us, and Robert Deck, obviously, and Tracy Reynolds. Tracy also I knew from Clubhouse days. Wow. Friendships are made in the hallways. I talk about going to networking events all the time, and the value usually, like this Badass Summit was really great. There was a lot of value in the event itself, but the real value is the hallway and the connections that you meet when you meet people out in the hallway in between. Engaging in the comments is like that. Engaging in the comments is kind of like being in the hallway of a networking event, right? You have the main poster who has a great idea, and then all these people that have their opinions, their thoughts, their ideas, and you can get in some really good conversations. So thank you, Meryl, for pointing that out. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yeah, we thought, what are we going to talk about for half an hour?
Yes. All right. So we have another one coming up, right? We have another one coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm looking that up right now.
Yep.
Absolutely. This is going to be monthly. We're going to meet once a month. And
November 20th, Wednesday, November 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Amazing.
So, yep. And if anybody has anything that they want us to talk about, any topics, any questions, you can always reach out in the DM. We'll answer questions there. But if you want to have your question answered live, or if you want to get into a conversation, like we can maybe deep dive further into newsletters next time, sure. Please let us know. We're definitely happy to do that for sure. Right.
Yeah. And if there's any questions that came up out of this, feel free to make a comment and we will answer it. Definitely.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be checking the comments here. And we're so excited. This was great. What a great conversation. I want to say thank you, everybody who joined us today. And for anybody who's watching it, if you're watching the replay, put it in the comments, say replay, and let us know what you liked about it and maybe what you'd like to see next time. And we're really excited. And we're going to end this now. And thank everybody for being with us.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.